So, how to carry a bicycle on a Harley, and why would you do it? Catch you inside.
RevelatorAlf.
Hello, welcome to RevelatorAlf. Hope you're enjoying the channel and the series of videos. Don't forget to subscribe, like and share, and check out the website RevelatorAlf.com. So, I've got a plan. I'm going to try and build a bicycle carrier for my Harley Davidson Sport Glide, and I'm going to try and make it out of stuff lying around the house, so it'll be cheap as chips. Now, you can buy these online, a company called 2x2 in the United States, but the bicycle does stick out the back of the bike and it acts as a bit of a kind of big fin, which I'm not so sure is going to make the whole bike very stable. Also, in the UK, we have limits of how wide a load can be on a particular vehicle, and also how long off a vehicle whatever load is as well. Now, we can go up to 1 meter without any markings, and then after that we need markings on the back of the load. Okay, so I'm not planning to go any more than 1 meter off the back of the bike. Also, I can't go 30.5 centimeters width off either side either, which that'll be easy as well. So what I plan to do is this. We're going to take the wheels off, we're going to mount the frame to the board. The board is going to sit, let me show you. The board is going to sit on the rack, balanced like that on the seat. We're going to have a bit of padding here, bit of support here, and then the bike is going to be on here, and then we're going to strap the wheels either side. Let's see if I can do it. Let's get into the workshop. Right, so in the workshop now, many of you might be wondering, Alf, why are you doing this? Well, there's lots of reasons. Maybe you just want to go on a motorcycle trip, but also a bicycle trip afterwards. Maybe you want to ride somewhere and then go ride some dirt trails where you're not allowed to ride your motorcycle. Maybe the dirt trails that you want to ride is not suitable for your Harley Davidson, let's say, your road going bike, so you want a bit of fun in the mud. Maybe you just want to get fit. Maybe you just want to do it for the hell of it. Or maybe you need to take your motorcycle somewhere to get it fixed, let's say, but they can't give you a courtesy bike. You need to find a way of getting back. Or you just want to go down to the pub, have a few jars with your friends and think, well, I've obviously drank too much now, I can't ride my motorcycle. Maybe I'm still legal to ride my bicycle home. I don't know about the legality of that, but you get my drift. Anyway, so there's lots of different reasons. So let's see what we can do. Now, as I say, there are lots of different designs out there which you can look at. They're either really expensive or they may not be legal where you are in the world as well. So, you know, if they extend too far off the back of the bike, you've got to be careful of that. Also, some of them require a lot of welding and stuff. So I know many of you may not know how to do that. You might not have all this stuff lying around at home. But you might have some basic wood and a bit of metal here and there and a bit of threaded bar that you might be able to work with. So I'm going to show you how we can do it. Hopefully it'll work. Now, I've got one of these things first of all. Now this is for the bicycle front forks, which actually lock into there. You don't have to buy this. I got this for £15 off Amazonia, but you don't have to buy this. You can just get a block of wood, just get some copper tubing, 15mm copper tubing with some threaded bar through it, some nuts either side. Then that will clamp, your forks will clamp onto that either side, and you just clamp down the tubing with some pipe clamps. You can do that. I just wanted to do this because it's got this quick release one, so I want to try and make it a bit easier. That will go at one end like that. Now at the other end I've got these which cost me about £4.50 each, cheap as chips, and these are basically bike wall racks which go on the wall and you slip your bicycle front tyre, rear tyre into it, right? Okay, what I plan to do is just mount this on the rear of the board like that, and then the rear frame of the bike sits in there like so. Then it's all going to be strapped down, a bit of jiggery pokery, a couple of blocks either underneath just to make it level on the bike, bit of padding so nothing gets scratched, and hopefully this should work. Let's give it a go. So first thing to do, let's dismantle that bike. As you can see, I'm a professional here. 15mm spanner. Now obviously, depending on the type of bicycle that you have, this process of taking wheels on and off might be a lot easier. If you've got these old style brakes, yeah, it's a bit of a pain. If you've got disc brakes, it's actually just out you go and away you go. Right, one tyre off. Now to do the rear one. Ta-da! Yeah, right, on to the next stage. Now obviously you're going to have to carry your tools with you to put it all back together. And I say, depending on the type of bike you've got, the newer bike, this is a POS old sort of bike that I've got, it'll be a lot quicker and obviously a lot cleaner as well. But anyway, let's get on to the next stage. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is mount this to the board, the front of the board, but also going to put a chock of wood at the bottom so it actually lifts it off the seat a little bit, so it rests on the motorcycle rack nice and easily. Right, let me do that. 2 strips of wood, and they're going to go on the underside here, and then bolt this through there, bish bash bosh. Let me quickly do that. Right, that's on secure. Now just to bolt this to that. Right, next thing to do, drill a couple of holes and put some bolts through, countersink at the bottom there, so that it rests neatly, and then put a bit of padding on there as well. Let's do that. Right, let's get some bolts through this. Right, on there solid. Now, let's do something else. Okay, so the next thing then, we have to flip the bike upside down, put the forks into the front chock there, as it were. So then find a way to mount these on here so the rear frame will slide into it. I'm gonna have to build it up as well, just to compensate for the gearing there as well. This might work. Right, so you can see here, this is how that fits in there. Very simple stuff. As I say, you can make one of those yourself, no dramas. Right, now the case is to try and build up the back so the gearing is, so the gears are clear, and then I can just mount that in there. So what I'm going to do is put a couple of pieces of wood under here like that, then mount this under there like that, then this frame here will slot into this. Right, let me do that. Okay, I've got some wood here, 2.5 inch by 1.25 inches, or 60 odd mil by 35 mil, something like that. But that kind of size, probably a little bit bigger, would be better. Anyway, so what we're going to do, cut this to length here, then double that up and then mount it on here. Let's do that. Okay, so the next thing then is to mount these like that, and then mount these on top of that like that. Right, so I've basically got the rough marking there. That'll be good for that. Okay, so the next thing to do will be to mount this to the board. I'm just going to mark it off at an angle to match the rear frame here of the bike, like that, like that. That'll be one. Do the same for the other side as well. Then as long as it just slides into here, this is going to have padding on it as well, so it will just slide into it. Then we're basically almost there. Right, it is on. Now I just need to attach these onto there, like that. See how we go. Right, this is on. It looks a bit higgledy-piggledy, but a lick of paint, you'll be fine. But if you really care about that, but as I say, I don't really mind because it is a functional utility thing. Right, let's see if the bike will actually go on it now. Fingers crossed. Okay, the next thing I'll do is put a block of wood beneath the crank here to lift this up a little bit, support it so it doesn't rest on the cogs, and it will slot in there a little bit easier. Let me do that. There we go. That's lifting the crank up. The gearing is free, and then this could all be tied off afterwards. Right, let me just attach that to that. Right, that's all done. Next thing to do is put some padding on here. so it kind of sits in a bit snug. Ta-da! Now I know what many of you might be thinking, God, that's ugly. Yes, it's function rather than aesthetics, I'll give you that. But we knew that before we started the project. Right, one side done, let's do the other side. Right, done, both ends done. There we go. What a monstrosity that looks, but there we go, look, it might function. Right, so the next thing to do then is actually go and measure this up on the bike so it fits properly. Now, what I will say about the rack, you want to protect the rack as well. So I'm going to put a bit of vinyl covering on the rack. Also, put some tape or something here just to protect your seat, some padding as well. Right, let me do that. Right, padding on, literally just a bit of old cloth and duct tape to it. This is going to sit on the seat, it will be protected. Right, next thing to do is just get the measurements for the underside of the rack as well. Then just put a block there and find out if it works. Right, so the next thing to do is to mount this on there like that. Not too far forward, so you still be able to sit on there without the bicycle actually hitting you in the back. This is going to come up a little bit there, maybe put a little bit of wood on top of here. Then this plate, which I've found, goes under there, locks on to the rack. Wrap the rack as well so it protects it as well. There we go. Now obviously all of this is going to be strapped down as well, so that's going to help with everything, with the stability. Right, let me do that. Right, I've got my bits of wood all cut to width for the rack. I've got another top plate that's going to go on top of there. Drill a couple of holes, put these threaded bolts through, and well, attach it to the rack. Let me see how that works. Right, bolts and washers on. Bits of wood together. Just got to mount this on the rack with the base plate, and then measure the plank to go on top of that. Right, let's do that. Right, as you can see, I've wrapped the rear rack just with a protective layer there. Now I'm going to pop this on there and then screw it to a base plate. Let me do that. Now the next thing is to measure your top plate onto here and see how it fits. Okay, now I need to mark it so I can actually bolt this to this plate here. Let me do that. Right, time to put this onto this. I've measured it up. I'm just going to basically screw it in there. Right, that is firmly on. Now, let's go and measure up these bolts and stick it on the bike. Right, let's put this on the bike. Now, I know what many of you are thinking. Alf, this is really flimsy. Actually, this has got to be strapped down at the front like that. So I'm going to get some ratchet straps. So that's something you might need to get. Let me go and get some. Okay, so you get a ratchet strap and you wrap it around the rear footrests, the brackets for those, and then you just wind it in. Now that's securely on, then we can just tidy all this up and then get to working on mounting the bike. Right, next thing is put the bike on the rack. Right, there we go. All we need to do now is strap it all down, but the next thing is put the wheels, one wheel this side, one wheel that side. Let me go and do that. Right, next thing is put the wheels on. Bit of Velcro help. Marvellous, let's do the other one. Right, wheels on. Now, just to strap it all down, just to make it even more secure. Let me do that. Right, wheels are velcroed on there. Look, that's all kind of secure. Now I just want to strap that down to the frame as well, just to make that extra secure. Right, that is done. Only one thing to do, take my tools with me and go test ride it. Let's go for a bike ride. Right, getting on this might be a bit tricky. No, it's easy. Seems stable enough, a little bit top heavy. Okay. Let's go. So far, so good. Let me just check the load. Probably a good idea. Still tight. So the idea of this build is basically to see if you can carry a bicycle on your Harley because you like riding bicycles as well. And could you make it out of household items for really cheap, about £20, $20, whatever. And would it work? Well, I think so far, yes. Let's get to the other end. Let's go and find a little trail, ride the bike, then put it back on, ride back home. It's a bit odd, I'll give you that. It is a bit odd riding with this thing on the back. Luckily, I know there's a little trail just around the corner here. I'm going to pull in there and give it a go. Right, let me put it all together now. Right, helmet on. Right then, the bike is finally off the bike. Let's go ride the bike and then ride back and then ride home on the other bike. You know what I mean? Let's do that. This is the life. Lovely little bicycle ride in the country. Riding one-handed and trying to talk to the camera at the same time. Probably not the best idea. But there we go. Look at that. Where you can't go with your motorcycle, go with the bicycle. Right, I'm going to go and enjoy this ride. Hope you found that useful. Pause for thought. Food for thought. Food for thought. Anyway, don't forget to subscribe, like and share. Check out the website RevelatorAlf.com. And if you fancy building something like this, well, give it a go. You never know. It might just work. Ta-da!